Welcome to Josh's Green Garage. So I know if you've been following my channel, it's been a while since I've done a video. Had a lot going on. I moved all the way from Alaska down to Florida. So it's been a little bit hectic since we got down here. Unfortunately, I don't have too many really ideas for videos or really a place to even do videos, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do though, I thought of one thing on my trip down here that I realized, hey, a lot of people are going to be, getting into when you have, either garden tractors or any kind of power equipment really. So this isn't just for you guys that regularly watch my video. This could really be for anybody. So what I'm going to do this video on is what's sitting right behind me, and that is trailers. I'm going to go over some considerations if you're looking into either upgrading your trailer or buying a trailer first time. So let's get into it. All right, so just a little bit of backstory to start out. This is my trailer. I'm sure if you guys watch my videos, you've seen it in the background and whatnot. But this is something that I know not directly related to garden tractors. However, like I had mentioned in the beginning there, most of the time people are gonna have some form of trailer to be moving lawnmowers, ATVs, things like that around. So this is really for anybody. Some things to consider that I feel like would be either worthwhile upgrades or certain factory options to look for when you're getting into a trailer. But this one is one I actually bought back in 2015. So I've had it for going on 10 years now. Bought it in Florida. It got me up to Alaska and then now back down to Florida. It is made by Elite Trailers in Crestview, Florida, so Northwest Florida. And overall, I mean, it's been a pretty decent trailer for the most part, but I have added some things here and there to it, little upgrades here and there. But yeah, it's a 7x16 box, and then it's got the V-nose, as you can see on the front. Adds about four feet of extra length. However, I mean, obviously you don't get all the width there. But I do definitely recommend, if you're going for an enclosed, getting a V-nose. Definitely a bit more aerodynamic than just a regular, flat front enclosed. So that's kind of the size and everything. Originally, this was a 7,000 pound gross weight trailer. However, that has now changed. So we'll get into that. It originally had a 3,500 pound drop axles on it. This is a ramp door trailer. And I think it's got 6 foot interior height, but we'll get into all of that. So I think what I'm going to do is just essentially start at the front and work my way back. And we'll see where this goes. So coming up here, I have the hitch, and I also have one of my tow hitches there. So some of this is not factory. Obviously the weight distribution here, that isn't factory, but that is the Reese straight line kit. Fantastic kit. It's more than just weight distribution. These little saddles here, that is for sway control. Really great setup. Costs a little bit of money, a little bit more than your standard weight distribution hitch, but pretty good upgrade if you're pulling to the max limit of your trailer or close to the max limit of your truck. Pretty good to have. There's a big improvement up here, and that is this hitch. So factory, this trailer did not come with the adjustable hitch like that. It just came with something. You can kind of see where the old frame was here. Just your regular A-frame style hitch, and that just came out in line. The reason I put this on here was because this trailer with the 3,500 pound drop axles, this whole tongue frame area, you can see back here, it's welded on under the actual box frame of the trailer. So all in all, stick in the way. All in all, this trailer sat really low to the ground. At the time when I bought it, I had a 2001 Dodge Dakota, so not the biggest truck in the world, but I mean, it did set fairly high, and I had like a 2-inch lift kit on it. So I mean, at the back, it was pretty high, and this thing did not want to ride level. And then you go adding in that weight distribution down there. Those things were maybe 1 inch off the ground, which was not ideal. So I looked into this kit, bought this piece of C-channel. I actually made these little gusset brackets there, and then, you know, of course, bought the adjustable hitch head. Had those welded on there, and that has been an absolute fantastic upgrade. I can, you know, change the height. I've since gotten a bigger truck, obviously, but you know, that to me was, you know, worth the money. It helps level everything out. You know, you can move it around, so no matter what the tow vehicle is, if things change down the road, who knows, you know, I can really adjust that. This isn't something you usually see on enclosed trailers. This is something more so that you see on, you know, your bigger like heavy duty equipment trailers, dump trailers, things like that. But it is pretty cool having it on here. So definitely recommend that. This is the hitch down here. This is the Reese straight line hitch head, and I got a really heavy solid steel tow bar there, adjustable and everything, so you can really get everything dialed in just perfect with that hitch. One thing on hitches, I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love things like Harbor Freight, but I would not cheap out on your hitch. I would always go with the highest hitch capacity that you can find and that you can afford, because I mean, you don't want anything breaking when you're going down the road, especially if you're pulling 10,000 pounds of trailer or something. You don't want, you know, a cheap ball on there. You don't want a cheap drawbar. So just a little warning there. So that's the front. I'll move up here. I'm going to point something out, just that I was thinking of a little earlier that I figured I'd mention. This diamond plate trim here. Yeah, it looks nice. But I mean, as a stone guard, it's very important. So if you look up here, you see some little chips, and I mean, it's kind of hard to see, I don't know, in the light maybe, but there's a bunch of little rock dents and stuff that got kicked up, kind of damaged the sheet metal up here, but it's not nearly as noticeable down here in the diamond plate. So one thing, if you're looking into a trailer enclosed or something, I would recommend trying to find some that have diamond plate, you know, as high as you can find it. Some only have like a little, like, tiny section at the very bottom. You're not getting quite as much rock protection with that. This isn't the thickest diamond plate in the world, but I mean, you can get some thicker diamond plating out there to help kind of protect the front, keep the front looking nice for longer. That's just something I wanted to mention there. Moving back, got the door here. Pretty standard. This is kind of a pretty nice door, actually. It's more so like a RV style door, the way the latch is there. Some of them I see just have like a little like, you know, hinge that would close and you just put a lock on or something. But this one actually has, you know, a little deadbolt lock in it and your standard lock. But it opens nice. So, I mean, that would be the kind of door I would recommend looking into over just something more basic. I mean, there again, depends on what you want to spend. But that's that. We'll move back a little further here. I'm going to point out lights. I had extra lights added. Really, DOT, I want to say you only need a red light at the back and an orange light at the corner. I opted for more. I have 2 on the front there on each side, and then 4 along the sides. And then I also added some on the fender there. I just like a lot of lights. I think they look cool. It's neat seeing them all lit up. But these ones were not the ones that came factory on the trailer. So this is one of those upgrades that I definitely recommend anybody do. I don't know how often you're going to find it on a new trailer from factory, but a lot of the trailers that you'll see from factory that have, you know, amber or black lights up there, they're going to have it's going to be a self-grounding light. So there's only going to be one wire to it for power. And then, you know, underneath where the screws go in, there'll be a little metal grommet in there, and that's what's going to ground it to the frame of the trailer. Problem with those is over time it rains, you get a little humidity, moisture, whatever in there, and then they start to corrode, and then you lose your lights. So these ones here I replaced. These are solid, you know, hardwired, and I have them mounted inside. So you can see here I have an actual wired ground going there, ground some paint off, you know, dielectric grease and everything, put a, you know, new screw and everything in there. So these are spliced in really nicely, and I don't have to worry about losing a ground on these now. It's inside, so I mean, it's not going to corrode. I mean, you can see the metal there. It's probably been on there for 6-7 years now. It's not even surface corroded, you know, being inside. So Something I would definitely look into. That way you don't lose lights. I know that's a big problem, is lighting on trailers, keeping them going. So do what you can to kind of save yourself with lights. They're a little bit expensive. I mean, they were probably like, oh man, $5 or $6 per light, I want to say. And I mean, I changed all of them and then added some, bought a couple spares, but I mean, I haven't had to change any of them out since. So really worth it. Definitely recommend. Fenders, nothing too special there. These ones were upgraded from the factory. I specified to have them put diamond plate ones on. Some places will put diamond plate, others will put just, smooth ones. I had some old Dodge Ram mud flaps, threw those on there. And then, like I said, light there. You can see I got some tire covers on. These I got at Harbor Freight. Pretty handy, keep the sun off your tires, keep them looking nice. They're not too expensive. I would definitely recommend if your trailer is going to be sitting in the sunlight for any period of time. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier, that this was a 7,000 pound trailer, but if you know what you're looking at, you see 6-bolt axles there. These have since been upgraded. This is now a 12,000 pound trailer. I got dual 6,000 pound axles on here, and they're no longer drop axles. They are straight axles. I'll show you underneath. Those are the axles, and these are custom built. Interesting story on it. I was had my trailer pretty well loaded. I'm not gonna say how much, but it was pretty heavy coming back down from Alaska. And on the Alcan, once I crossed over into Canada from Alaska, I noticed something looked weird after I stopped for fuel. Looked like the axle was sitting a little funny. Turned out both springs on the front axle were completely bent on the, the rear side. Luckily it was the rear. And then a little longer down the road, this is at nighttime at this point because we got out a little late, but come to find one of them actually broke as well. So luckily I was able the next day then, I had to drive an additional, it was probably a good 4.5 hours altogether with a broken spring on the Alcan, drive into a shop that a guy was able to help me out. Got these axles built custom for it. He cuts the pipe, does everything there, puts on the spindles, all that. So I got much heavier suspension now, much heavier axles, bigger brakes. So all is good there. I have a newfound love for this trailer now with these axles. So pretty awesome, pretty beefy there. But that is something that I would highly recommend anybody looking at a trailer. If you're getting one from factory, don't skimp on axles. I would not, if you're getting an enclosed, I don't care what size enclosed, if you're getting a dual axle enclosed trailer, you're probably not going to want to go with just 3,500 pound axles. Spend the extra money, get 5,200 pound axles, 6,000 pound axles. I know if you're getting something like a 8.5 by 20, you're probably gonna have 5,200 pounds off the bat, but generally anything, of a trailer this size, it's probably, they're gonna just slap 3,500s on it. And that's what this was. And at the time I wasn't thinking about it because all I had was my Dakota, and I was like, well, 7,000 pounds, that's probably about at the max limit of that truck. So, I wasn't considering buying anything more. I didn't want to spend extra money at the time, but I'm telling you guys now, if you're looking into a trailer, definitely upgrade the axles. It's a lot cheaper upgrading it from factory than it is, doing it down the road like this. Trust me, because you can't just get the axles, you then got to get new wheels and tires. I guess you could use the same tires, but they're not going to be rated the same, so you're not really doing yourself any favors. But yeah, I can tell you this axle upgrade costed me more than what the trailer did new. Granted, there's 8 years difference in time, or no, sorry, 9 years difference in time. So a lot of things change, price wise in that amount of time, but I think you're gonna save yourself, a lot. I would always get heavier axles than what you think you're gonna need. If you think you just need 52s, get 6s. You know, if you think 6s will be fine, go to 7,000s. I mean, 7,000 pound axles on this trailer would be insane. I mean, you'd have probably a pretty hard time putting that much weight into it. I mean, I'm sure somebody could, but 12,000 pound now, that's plenty. So that if anything is my biggest thing for anybody that's looking at a trailer, no matter what kind of trailer it is, if it's a utility trailer, heavy equipment trailer. I see smaller dump trailers out there. I've seen some older goosenecks that only have like 5,200 pound axles on a dump trailer. I would not do that. Those trailers are heavy as all get out as it is. And then to put additional weight like gravel, dirt, whatever in it, you're gonna want 7s. So I wouldn't even look at a dump trailer if it didn't have 7s, or a gooseneck if it didn't have 7s. But yeah, I'll get off my high horse there. That's something that I blame myself for, but I always did want to upgrade this to 5,200 or 6,000 pound axles. I just wasn't looking to do it when I had to. I was looking to do it when I wanted to, but end of the day, it worked out. And I mean, we're fortunate that we had some good people there to help us out. So if anybody's going to be traveling up to Alaska or anything like that and needs a shop, I'll recommend them. It was the Tamarack Welding and Spring Shop. They're in, I think it was Whitehorse, Canada, is the Yukon Territory. So big shout out to those guys. I can't thank them enough. They really hooked us up, really saved our trip. So they definitely helped me in my stupidity for having my trailer overloaded. Forgot to mention something about axles real quick that I'll mention. When you're thinking about weights, so a trailer like this, originally 2 3,500 pound axles, so 7,000 pounds max for the trailer. This trailer itself weighed 2,300 dry. So that only gives you 4,700 pounds of cargo you can put in there. Now my tractor, with all the weights and accessories that I was carrying, was probably around 2,000 pounds. So already there, that only gives you an extra 2,700 pounds of weight. So when you are using this for moving or something like that, you got to think clothes weigh a lot, tools weigh a lot, everything you end up putting in there. I didn't think I was going to be anywhere close, or probably close to the max 7,000 pounds of the trailer. It did not take long to get it overweight. So that's one of the things to think about. No matter what the trailer is, you got to think, if it's, a dump trailer, a big gooseneck trailer, you definitely don't want, a 5,200 pound axles on something like a gooseneck trailer or dump trailer, because you go getting like a 7x14 or 7x16 dump trailer, you can put a lot of weight in there real quick. And I mean, the weight of that trailer, plus if they put 10,000 pounds of gravel, which might be about a standard capacity that, a place is going to load you to, you can be over your weight limit real quick. So you definitely want to get something, that's going to be up to the task on those heavier types of trailers. Depending on what you're using these for, if it's only going to be used for something, okay, but I will always recommend to somebody now, after making the mistake of just going with 3,500s, definitely get bigger axles. And I mentioned that these originally had drop axles on it. Now it has straight axles, so it sits higher. So the other thing I was going to mention is that adjustable hitch up front really helps, because I was able to, get everything adjusted, to accommodate the truck with these taller axles now, because this thing sits a lot higher than it did before, which to some people may not be good. I like it. It doesn't bother me any. It's easier to get in and out of different, approaches to gas stations and different things. The ramp door at the back is a little bit steeper now, but I mean, I don't mind it. I don't have any issue. It's a little harder to get into the man door on the side, but there again, I don't mind, because I have a good set of axles under it. So let's move on. We'll move on now. One addition that I just recently added, and ignore this little wire hanging down here. I have a light that went out on the trip and haven't got around to fix it. I got to rewire the whole back here, because all those wires are spliced so many times during the trip. It was horrible. There were so many times I had to get out because lights were down, because there was a broken wire back here. But yeah, so anyway, these stabilizer jacks, these are RV style stabilizer jacks. I just picked them up for Harbor Freight. They're 2.5 ton jacks. I put them at the back, and most of the time you only see any kind of jack on like a single axle trailer. You don't generally see them on double axle trailers. However, I added this because I don't have a garage now or anything, and I have my John Deere garden tractor there, and I want to keep it inside, so I put it in the trailer. Well, there's a lot of weight going in and out of the back of that, and especially with this box plate on it right now, all the weight, that tractor is heavy right now. So when I put it in there, if I didn't have those, this trailer would actually tip back, not hooked up to the truck. I don't want to always have to hook the truck up to it. So that's a really simple upgrade that I would definitely recommend doing if you're going to be using one of these as kind of like a garage, or, you know, just holding equipment in it, just to kind of, you know, keep the trailer from tipping back and rolling, or, you know, whatever the case may be. It's just one of those little extra safety measures for you. Moving a little further back, you can see there I have a hitch receiver on there. That is another Harbor Freight add-on. I welded that on there and wired up a little connection there, a 4-pin connection. I actually put a cargo carrier on here for when I was traveling on my trip, and then put my truck toolbox on there, and that worked really great. So I probably won't ever double tow with that, but the reason I put that there was for you know, cargo carrier. So in case anybody was looking at that thinking, why would you have a hitch like that on the back of a trailer? That's why. All right, moving on. Problem with that, this light and this light, those were the only factory lights. Well, also the one up top there. But those were the only factory lights on this trailer, and they kind of got covered up, you know, as far down as they are. Road grime and stuff gets kicked up, and you know, that toolbox being away, it's hard to see. So another thing I just recently did was add some additional lights, turn signal and brake lights up top. So, well, not up top, but in the middle. So they're nice. They don't get covered up. They don't get dirty like that being down close to the road. And, you know, I don't have to worry about them being obstructed. So, like right now, that light doesn't even work. But, I mean, I got backups. So that's one thing I would look for when you're looking at a trailer. Make sure lights are up higher so that the wiring isn't necessarily going to be down in the dirt and crud and, you know, salt, or depending on where you're living. Like, all that, just think about that. And if you can't find one with them higher up, definitely, like, look into putting some lights higher up. That is really, really going to help you out. So that's about it for the outside. I'm going to talk about the top of the trailer once we get to the inside. I guess I'll talk about the rear door. So with enclosed, you either have the option of a ramp door or barn doors. I got a ramp door, glad I did. If you have any kind of equipment, definitely do that. Go with the ramp. That way you can get stuff in and out. You probably don't want to do a barn door. I know this looks real pretty and colorful. So what you're looking at, that normally you don't see a black floor in trailers like this. You just see plywood. That's usually how they're all going to come, unless you're specifying something or that's an option. But this is an exterior, you know, outdoor deck paint coating. I rolled this on there. It's textured. It's worked out really well. I put that on there. You can see my daughter's like drawing on it with chalk. I really don't care. It washes off if you need. But I painted the whole inside of this when I got it right away. And it has been a fantastic upgrade. You can see like there's some little oil spilled right there. But that really protects the plywood in here. If it gets scratched or damaged in any way, you just paint right over it. You know, fill the wood or whatever the case may be, paint right over it, and you'd be good to go. So something I definitely recommend. I would do this on any type of trailer. If you're getting, you know, a gooseneck equipment trailer, a utility trailer with a wood deck, and of course an enclosed, I would definitely recommend going with a coating like this, just to, you know, keep the wood in good shape, you know, against, you know, oil, fuel spills, whatever the case may be. Whatever you're putting in one of these, you know, keep it relatively nice. I can sweep this up, vacuum it, whatever the case may be. It's really held up great, actually. I haven't even had to touch it up yet. I mean, it's looking a little rough down at the edges here at the back, but that's just from bringing stuff in and out. I mean, other than that, it's been great moving four-wheelers, tractors in here, whatever the case may be. So that is that. I want to talk about up top here. Usually this trailer standard, it came with one light. You can see the light up there, and then you can see the roof vent there. It came with one. Most of them are going to come with one. I specified to have an additional one added. I just wanted extra ventilation, and then I wanted the extra lighting. If so, ignore that light. That's so that I can plug that into an electrical cord and have light in here, because these ones only work if the truck's plugged in. I mentioned earlier this has additional height. This has a half a foot of additional height, so 6 foot inside, so I can stand up easily. Some of them are only gonna have a 5.5 from factory. Some may have 6, but a lot of them are pretty short unless you specify more. So pretty worthwhile upgrade there. Definitely recommend. And then I think the last thing I'm gonna talk about inside is this shelf right here. So you can see I got a whole bunch of crap up there. One thing with Vino's trailers is, depending what you're doing, you may have a lot of wasted space up there. Some bigger things can fit up there. Maybe you put like a compressor or something up there, but even still, you lose a lot of space. So from factory, they told me that I could add like a shelf in there. So I had them do that. And this isn't just a wood shelf built in there, screwed into the plywood on the sides. There's actually a piece of frame that goes through there, and then from the center back up to the front. So, you know, that thing is solid. It's capable of supporting some pretty good weight. That's welded right into the frame of the trailer. So great upgrade there. I would recommend that if you guys are, you know, looking into a Vino's. Give you a little additional, you know, storage. And then I have some stuff built around. Like I have a little shelf built here. Nothing fancy. Just put a few things in there. I had 2 of them. Got rid of one of them though. And then these pieces of wood along the side. I have a big old shelf, and I'll put in some pictures here. I have a big old shelf that I built to go in there, and with that shelf, that's what moved me down to Alaska here. I was able to put a bunch of stuff on top. I was able to get the tractor in at the back, and then still have room up front. So this thing was loaded down for sure. Oh, tie downs. I have tie down points. There's these 2 back here. I had factory, and then I added 4 more. They were to fit some specific machines, but it'd be a good idea to have, you know, tie downs depending on what you're doing. So those are always a nice upgrade to add. I'm gonna take you back outside because I forgot one thing, and it's right there. Vents, exterior vents, definitely a good little addition. Have a little ventilation in the trailer. One of them on mine, I damaged it, so I no longer have a front upper vent on the other side, but I do still have a lower one. And then I have my top vents, so not a big deal. Trying to think what else. Honestly, I think that's about it. As I said, I just wanted to do a good walk around of the trailer. Again, definitely think about axles when you're buying a trailer. Don't skimp on axles. Don't get small weight capacity axles. You know, get something heavy duty. Look for a good frame. This has a fairly thick frame. I want to say that's probably about a 4 or 5 inch frame there. I've seen some that are pretty light, pretty thin out there. I mean, this by no means is like the thickest frame in the world, but you know, you want to watch these things. Make sure you're getting something decent. That's it. There you can see my damage. I just have a piece of sheet metal riveted over it there. But yeah, that's my trailer. And that's all I got for you guys on trailers. Hopefully this video is helpful if this is your first time buying a trailer, or if you're looking to upgrade, things to consider. If you guys have been wondering kind of what my trailer setup looks like, there you go. Now you know. It's nothing too fancy, but I do love this trailer. I was thinking about upgrading it, but now that I got the axles that I wanted, I think I'll keep it for a while. It's a good trailer now. It can do everything I need it to. It's just a great thing to have. So yeah, anyway, appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching. Have a good one.